flex, thumb down that, check, no drip this, wet, tell him run it on, no sleep, no rest, might crash, might wreck, but first I stretch, tell him run it on, I wake up, flex, thumb down that, check, no drip this, wet, tell him run it on.
Welcome to the Grit and Grind Show, where in each episode, we'll be weighing in on recent business trends across the sports, music, and gaming industry. I'll also be featuring guests that are industry experts and can share their industry perspective. Lined up today, we got 3 dope trends to discuss. First, we'll break down the Super Bowl by the numbers, highlighting Super Bowl 55 and some of the unique revenue that they generate. Next, we'll cover Peloton. From their IPO to their COVID growth, Peloton business is booming. Lastly, we'll discuss Puma's resurgence in basketball and their $100 million deal with LaMelo Ball. I connect with Todd Fleming, VP of Global Sales at Legends, a global sports entity delivering solutions to legendary brands. Todd has a large list of accomplishments and accolades, working with several championship organizations like the Miami Heat, Dallas Cowboys, Brooklyn Nets, and many more. Shout out to our sponsors at Outfield. Outfield is an industry-leading CRM for sales and marketing teams around the world. The Outfield app helps teams optimize their sales process, gamify their productivity, and increase revenue. Download the Outfield app now and use the promo code CLOSERS for 10% off. Super Bowl 55 was epic, with a ton of hype leading up to it and packed with historic moments. But the Super Bowl, it's more than just a game, it's a business. Tampa Bay hosted Super Bowl 55, and due to COVID restrictions, attendance was limited to just 30%, with 14,000 fans and 7,500 healthcare workers in attendance. Due to limited seating, ticket prices skyrocketed to an all-time high. The lowest ticket price was $8,613 on the resale market. The average ticket price was over $14,000, and that's a 30% increase from 2020. Now, everyone loves commercials during the Super Bowl. And a Super Bowl ad spot, well, that'll run you a cool $5.6 million for a 30-second ad. All of the players on the Kansas City Chiefs earned $62,000 each for their losing performance, while players on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers earned $124,000 for winning the Super Bowl, and in total earned $255,000 for their playoff performance. In total, the city of Tampa Bay generated over $300 million in revenue from hosting the Super Bowl. Tom Brady's pursuit of excellence continues, with the most Super Bowl appearances, the most Super Bowl wins, and a long list of Super Bowl records. With COVID impacting the world and gyms closed everywhere, many of us have found new ways to exercise. One of the companies who've benefited the most from the pandemic has been Peloton. Peloton is the world's leading interactive fitness platform, offering connected home fitness equipment with a subscription service that helps bring fresh new fitness content to their base. Peloton is accelerating their content strategy, and it's quite impressive, partnering with J-Lo and recently announcing a partnership with Beyonce, who is teaming up with HBCUs to create a series of themed workout experiences for their 3.6 million members. Since launching their stock, it has skyrocketed 4x, peaking at $170 in early 2021. Don't call it a comeback. Puma has re-entered the US basketball market that is prominently dominated by Nike and Adidas. In 2019, Puma partnered with Jay-Z to lead their basketball operations. Since launching that partnership, they have been aggressive at expanding their US presence. Recently, Puma has started to fill out their roster of talented athletes, signing deals with Kyle Kuzma from the Lakers, RJ Barrett from the Knicks, and their biggest acquisition yet has been LaMelo Ball. LaMelo signed a $100 million deal with Puma, and the best part of the LaMelo deal is that he has full access to their private jet, giving him full baller status as he gets to fly best in class to change the forecast. Next, we'll take a quick break, and when we come back, our interview with Todd Fleming, a sports and entertainment executive. Chipmunk cookies are made with high-quality ingredients for customers to enjoy without risking the negative side effects of having too many carbs or sugars. Chipmunk Baking is providing amazing dessert alternatives for anyone that has diabetes, celiac disease, or on a keto diet. Make sure to check out Chipmunk at chipmunkbaking.com and use the promo code CLOSERS for 10% off.
Hey, Todd. Welcome to Closers. Super excited to have you on the show today. Where does this show find you?
Well, look, I first and foremost, glad to be on. I know this has been a long time in the making for you and I, so glad we could finally pull this off. But you find me in my home office, which has been, really through COVID, central hub, right?
Yeah.
But the benefit that I had, which probably a lot of your listeners do, is, I had the ability of working from home to begin with. And so that transitioned into work balance inside the home and where, how do you balance everything? I had maybe had a leg up on people that I'd already been through that process. But yeah, you find me in my house here in Austin, Texas, and glad to be able to do this in between some of the other phone calls that I've got today.
Yeah, man. No, I appreciate you sharing. Just the entire timeline is just impressive, man. Just seeing how you've had some of these historical moments kind of, and while you're telling me this, I'm thinking about in my own mind some of the experiences that I've had either in those stadiums or, experiences that by way of you have come to me, right? A couple of them is that, my family lives in South Florida. So I actually went to the 2006 parade, actually went to Pistons versus Heat in the Eastern Conference Finals, and then went to the finals that year too. So did that. I went to the last game at the New Jersey Stadium, right? So it was Prudential, right? Prudential.
Yeah. No, it was Izod at that point.
Oh yeah, it was.
Izod, the Prudential was in Newark, and they flopped down there for a couple years too. So you went to the last game at Prudential before they went to Brooklyn, but they had the last moment at Izod, then they moved to Newark, and then they went over. That's
what it was. Yeah. And just thinking about all these experiences, I mean, I went to Super Bowl 50 at Levi Stadium. So thank you. I've had some experiences and memories. I text you when I went to a Sting concert at AT&T Stadium for a customer event, AT&T. And I remember the hospitality, and I was like, "Yo, is this you?" And you text back, you're like, "Yeah, that's us." I'm like, So it's really cool.
Look, it's. I mean, again, legends. You don't hear a lot about legends, and that's all planned. I mean, we don't do a lot of PR. We don't do a lot of marketing. We don't do a lot of comms. And we do that specifically for the fact that we're white labeled is that, people trust us as an agency to represent their brand. And so we take that, the responsibility of that is we don't pump our marks out there. So in our engagements, we take on your marks, we take on your logos, we have your email addresses, we wear your shirts. And we're there to be brand stewards for you. And I think that's maybe one of the things that I'm the most proud about, that what we do is, we do a lot of great work, but the only reason why we do great work is because people trust us to be able to lead their brand, and they trust in the fact that that we're going to represent them in the fashion that they would want to be represented. And then we've gone and knocked it out of the park every single time that we've had the ability to do that. So to me, that's a really, really special thing that we have a chance to do.
So really quick, from, obviously this past year has been challenging in sports and entertainment. We're seeing, different trends continue, whether it's TV ratings, the fan experiences are growing into digital experiences and growing beyond. From your perspective and your seat, where do you see sports entertainment evolving over time, and what are you most excited about?
Yeah, no, I mean, it's good. I actually I was having this conversation yesterday with a few different people. I don't want to be cliche, but the Roaring 20s, I think, are going to be back. And I do, like you said something earlier about South by Southwest, and it got me thinking about all the musical events that we haven't had a chance to have. And so, I try to put myself in the side, because I'm a consumer as well. I own season ticket places, and I love to go to concerts. And so I actually think the experience of going to the venue is still going to be, it's going to be what it was pre-pandemic, and it may be even more expansive. And
Absolutely.
so what I think it's allowed people to do from a business perspective is exactly what you said. We've gotten much more smarter of digitally, how do we use that to enhance the experience? And then, but more importantly, it's a revenue generator, right? So inside the world of business is that, brands will now pay, better figures to be part of your digital platform, right? Because they know, they're in normal times, they're still going to be capturing more eyeballs that way, and they're going to hit more people. But it also now becomes, again, there's going to be a third of the people that say they're going to run back to the building. There's going to be a third that, hey, how many more needles can we get in the arm? And, are we completely past this? And you may just never get a third of the people back, and they may just go all to your digital, right? They're not going to leave you, but they're going to go, their way that they interact with you is going to be different. But to me, it's like that digital opportunity and the digital platform and where that can go, even in the world where we get back to people going to the venue. What are the technologies that are going to exist that can be monetization vehicles, but also just what's the next evolution of how does a consumer engage digitally?
Absolutely. And I think that going back to, live events and experiences, it's going to be more family focused, right? Making sure that there's experiences and opportunities for everyone to engage with either the primary brand or, sponsors, partners, those types of things. Prior to the pandemic, worked with MLB around a, virtual reality pitching scenario, right? And so they put this in 16 parks, and the lines were, longer than the game, right? And you would see that families were bringing their kids there because they wanted to see what it was like to, swing against a cutter from, Mariano Rivera, right?
Right. Yeah.
And so as you see people coming back into these experiences, you're going to see other things. Like I went to AT&T Stadium, as we mentioned, and they have the AR experience where you could take a photo with the team, right? Yep. And that was like, I'm not a Cowboy fan, but heck yeah, I'm going to get a picture, right?
Yeah, no doubt.
So,
what it does, Carlos? Yeah, go ahead. No.
I was just saying, it's about, making sure that there's something for all ages and everyone's included, because that experience, you take it with you lifelong, right?
Well, and that's what I was going to, we're going to say the same thing. It's not only now because the age range is so wide, right? But there's more and more different types of age ranges coming into play into the event. But it also is too, these events are long, right? Yeah. And I think as we get into, and again, I'm not a person that beats on millennials. I'm not. I think they do the tremendous things in the world. But it's clear that the attention span of consumers is shorter, right? Sure. And so I think when they come to your venues, there's going to need to be these moments, experiential things that go on around your venue that everybody has access to, that helps them break up the time at your venue, that then creates an experience that brings them back, right?
Absolutely.
And I just think it's, that's where we're going to. When you can get anything that you want on these instantaneously, the venues now have to do their version of what that looks like. And I think these experiential elements are the way that we can do it.
Absolutely. Yeah. So kind of talking about some current trends and topics, we just had the Super Bowl wrap up. I think that, we all didn't get here thinking that Brady wouldn't make a playoff run, but, one of the things that I saw, just to tie it into the experience, was that, I was watching the presentation of the food and some of the hospitalities, and obviously Legends was there, right? They were doing some great food and really kind of talking about the fan experience. So if you could just give a quick insight around that and then your thoughts on the Super Bowl and the outcome.
Yeah, I think, look, again, for us, it's, we're privileged to be able to have fans in the building for this event. And so kudos to the NFL, kudos to to Hillsborough County, to the city of Tampa, and then obviously the state for allowing all of that to happen. what it allowed us to do though is to showcase what we're really, really good at, right? Which is the art and science of a culinary experience. And so, where I was going is that we're not going to chase what I would say every single opportunity inside of hospitality. We're not. Like, we're going to be really strategic, and where we find the best experiences for us is where we have alignment with our partner, which is the client, but we have alignment that there's alignment on their expectations, there's alignment on the experience, there's alignment on expenses and costs, there's alignment across the board. So you're really going at this in a partnership approach. You're not coming at this with, hey, I'm the food and beverage provider, you're the client, here's my menu, here's your cut of it.
Yeah.
It's not just a business relationship. There's certainly that is involved, and everybody needs to make the money that they expect to make. But coming at it with a partnership approach, with open dialogue, complete transparency, a ton of communication, and doing that on a consistent basis, I think is the part of why we had success in a very difficult time to try to pull off a Super Bowl with limited fans in a pandemic. But it's why we have success across the board in any of our verticals, specifically the food and beverage approach. Now, my thoughts on the Super Bowl: unbelievable what this guy is doing, and unbelievable the way that he's changed his body, or how he's gone about preserving his body. How strategic was he to go to an environment that had a great defense?
Yeah.
Knew that they were going to have a great defense, knew they had a great defensive coordinator, but also knew that he had a coach that was astronomically different than his previous environment, right? And again, no, I'm not here to say Belichick's bad and Arians is good, or Arians is bad and Belichick's better. That's not for me to say. But it was really, to me, showed a lot about where maybe Tom is in his life cycle as a human being, of what matters to him. I think that there's real parallels to what happened in that game to what happens in the world of the business and the world of life. Like, you have to constantly be self-evaluating where you're at. And I think he did obviously just that, and arrived at a decision and got himself into an environment that he valued and wanted at that point in his life, and unbelievable that he was able to win it. The other thing that struck me is, if you look at everybody that scored a touchdown in that game, they were not part of that team last year.
Crazy.
And so, I mean, and again, Antonio Brown wasn't on the team at the beginning of the year.
Yeah.
Right. So,
yeah. Or Fournette wasn't either. He was.
That's right.
Yeah.
And now I say all of that, and I think the Kansas City Chiefs will be right back there again next year, because I think they were banged up. I can't believe the difficulties that they went through, or injuries that they went through on the offensive line, and Mahomes playing hurt. I think that what we saw was a master class from Brady and the Buccaneers. But I also do think that we haven't seen the last of Patrick Mahomes. And it's going to be fun to watch them kind of retool, see what happens in the draft, what free agency do they get, and then if they can stay healthy, what really happens. I think the same for the Buccaneers. I think they're going to be a tough matchup even next year, because now the free agency world has seen what happened.
Yeah.
So maybe they're willing to take a little bit less on the open market to go play with him and have a chance to win it. And that
JJ Watt
get better.
JJ Watts is out there now. Like there's
well, with his wife playing in the NWSL in Chicago, I don't know. He may be a Bears target pretty soon. I don't know, but there's going to be a lot of it. It was just fun to watch. But I think, to me, what I've always tried to tell people, particularly younger people in their career, is you got to constantly self-evaluate yourself. You've got to be, and it's tough because you're your worst critic at times. But if you're being really honest with yourself, it does allow you to put you in the position of what matters the most. And I think Brady did. And I think, he had the benefit of everybody kind of wanted him, whether they said they did or they didn't. Everybody would have taken him.
Absolutely.
And he kind of was in the driver's seat to pick the best possible situation. We're not always in that in the world of sports and entertainment, but you do have to constantly evaluate what matters to you. What environment do you want? What type of people do you want to be around? What type of opportunities do you really want to chase? And so you got to have those hard conversations with yourself. So to me, that was the message of watching a American football game that I took out of the game.
Yeah. Switching gears, one word description for Melo Ball. What do you think?
Intriguing.
Okay.
Intriguing, and I'll tell you why. Try not to develop a perception based upon the dad and other things that have happened inside the family. So I've tried to go into it with a little bit of an open mind, and I think you're starting to see that there's a little bit of a maturity level to him.
Yeah.
Even at a young age, because of what he has chosen to do, playing overseas and going through what his older brother went through, and then what the middle brother went through. I think he's
seasoned.
He's processed it the right way. And the talent certainly is there. I mean, he's the front runner for Rookie of the Year. I don't think there's any question about it. And if he can stay healthy, it's probably his to lose. And so to me, it's intriguing of where can this go?
Yeah.
And they've been a really fun team to watch. I wouldn't, the consistency's probably got to continue to jive amongst all of them. But they're a really, really fun team. If you sit down and watch how they play, the ball moves. And I think people think of him as, because of what you think of when you hear Lamar Ball, you think of, boisterous, arrogant. And so you would think that Melo is more of a shooter. It's really not. He's a playmaker.
Yeah.
And so intriguing. So intriguing is to me is that he's been this season, this early, this good, this early, and intriguing for the fact of where can he take it and how times.
That's awesome, man. Well, hey, I really appreciate your time. I appreciate you sharing everything with us. It's been a pleasure connecting, and I look forward to keeping in touch. Hey, I really appreciate it, and we'll be chatting soon.
Well, Carlos, look, the honor's mine. The thank you, it needs to be said in reverse. This has been a long time coming, so I'm glad that we could pull it off. And again, I'm yours for whatever you need in the future. So I'll be paying close attention to what you guys are doing, and this won't be the last time you and I are talking for sure. So thank you for
without a doubt. Hey, thanks so much, man, and be well.
Arrivederci, ciao bello.
Cuídate.
Cuídese.
No drip this. Tell 'em run it on.